Welcome back to the channel. Today we're showcasing and reviewing the Vainglory's Grotto, a tactical, well-delving hand management dice rolling card game for one or two players, and somehow it packs a ton of tension into this small presentation. As usual, this isn't going to be a full step-by-step gameplay tutorial, but I am going to show you exactly what you get in the box, what the game is about, and an overview of how it plays. So let's jump right in. First, let's take a quick look at the components. So let's open the box. The first thing we get is this thick cardboard tokens used to mark progress on your active challenges. Now you will notice mine are actually still inside the punch board. I haven't popped them out yet because I personally find it much cleaner and easier to track progress using spare dice instead. Moving on, we have the rulebook, which gives you a solid foundation for the game, although I did have to jump online for a few specific card interactions that weren't totally clear. You can use this as a dice tray. It has like a nice image there related to the game and other seekers. And here is where the cards and dice would live. But you will notice my copy is completely empty. Why? Because once I sleeve these cards, everything stopped fitting. I could barely close the box halfway, so if you like protecting your games, I highly recommend picking up a standard TCG box. I use this one. You don't have to use this one. Any TCG box that is used for like Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, or One Piece TCG will do the job just fine. But in this one, everything fits perfectly. As you can see, I have my dice here and all the cards here. If you don't mind or you're not going to be sleeving the cards, this box will work just fine. And the cards are really good quality. They are PVC, so they are like scratch and water resistant, so you don't really need to sleeve them. However, there is a lot of shuffling involved, so depending on how much you are going to play the game, I would still advise that you do sleeve them. Okay, now let's check the cards. Just one moment. Okay, we're gonna start reviewing the cards. First, we're gonna start with the two characters or seekers, as they are called on this game. You get Core and Asha, each with their unique abilities. Art is really nice. Each one of them comes with a lantern, which is basically a special ability. This is gonna be face down for most of the game, and there are gonna be certain card effects that will let you put them face up so you can use them. And then each of them is gonna get an 18 card deck. As you can see, the cards have multiple colors because you will be facing challenges that are either blue, green, or red. You also have these colorless or white cards that are basically used for any of the challenges. Same for Asha. In here at the top is how much damage or progress, as this game calls it, each card deals to the challenges. Some cards are gonna be able to be used for two colors. Some are gonna have effects down here at the bottom, and this is when you use them to boost a card. We will see more on that later. But yeah, that's the basic of the character decks. Okay, next you're gonna get 3 copies of Vainglory, which is basically the boss. Each one will have a different effect and health pool once they are face up at the end game. But for most of the game, they're gonna remain face down, and they're gonna share the same effect. That is, when attempting a challenge, it gains +1 difficulty for every other challenge with the same name in play. So at the start of the setup, or when you're setting up, you will shuffle this, select one at random, put them in the middle of the board, and you will place the other two to the side. You will not know which one is the one you're facing until you get to the end game. Then we have the well deck, and this is the deck that you need to delve into, reach the bottom of it so you can challenge Vainglory. You will shuffle this, discard the top 3, and then you will place 4 cards in a cross-like pattern around Vainglory, and you put this deck aside. So there are different kind of challenges. For example, this one is a combat. You need to deal 7 damage or progress. This is the reward, meaning you discard 2 cards from the well deck. If you fail it, you receive 1 damage. So let's do a quick example of this. This is my initial hand. So let's say I want to use this card, right? It can be used against red or blue. So it deals 2 damage or progress, but it has an effect that says +2 if attempting a challenge with no progress on it. Since this one has no progress on it, it will get a +2. That means 4. And then I'm gonna use this other one to boost it. All of this doesn't matter. All that matters is this part here at the bottom. So I can do this, and this will be 5 in total, right? Still not enough to beat the challenge, but this is where the dice will come in. Okay, for the dice, we get a regular D10 that is gonna be used to track our life. Then we get 3 D6. They're gonna have 2 green sides, 2 red sides, and 2 blue sides. And then we get this other die that has 3 white or light sides and 3 dark sides. Dark usually most of the time means that you fail. There are gonna be some cards that will give it other effects, and white means basically a wild color that can be used for any of the other. So let me remove this one. Right now we have 5 of progress on this, and we need 2 more, so we will be rolling the dice. Okay, let's try our luck. Terrible luck. So as you can see, I did not roll a single red or light color, so that would mean that we will deal 5 progress to this. We will suffer the penalty that would be losing 1 life, and we would have lost the cards. Go to our next turn, and we can try to deal the remaining progress with other cards we have in hand. But for the example of this, let's say I got a red one and a light one, right? So that would be 5, and the 2 that I roll, that would be the full 7. So I will get the reward, that is delving 2. So I will discard the top 2, put this card aside, and I will replenish with a new card from the deck, and discard these 2, and then I will basically do the same. Now, this game doesn't have like a standard draw mechanic, meaning you're not gonna be drawing cards as you're using them or at the end or start of your turn. The only way to draw new cards are gonna be either by card effect or by exhausting yourself. What does exhausting yourself means? This means that you have either run out of cards in your hand, or you usually will have like 1 or 2. They are not good for any of the challenges that are currently on the board. So you will discard any remaining cards that you have in your hand, and you will draw 1 random card from this exhaustion deck. These cards are incredibly dangerous. For example, this one states that if you accumulate 3 copies of it face up, you instantly lose the game. And just like your health pool this threat is completely shared between both seekers if you're playing co-op or 2-handed solo. So when you draw this, you will put it somewhere near to your character, and you will draw a new hand according to the player quantity. Since I'm playing full solo, that means 8 cards. If you're playing solo two-handed or co-op, that means 7. And you could play with 3 or 4 players, but you will need another expansion. Okay, thankfully, there are some ways to fight back. For example, this event right here, it says -1 exhaustion, and then we attach this card to Vainglory. So for example, we could do this, return the exhaustion card to its deck, we will shuffle it, and then we would attach this card to Vainglory and replace it. Now, you have to be really mindful when attaching cards to Vainglory, because Vainglory is gonna get way stronger the more cards she has attached to when you get to her fight. So I would advise not to add any cards to her unless extremely necessary and you have no other choice. Okay, now speaking of the boss fight, this triggers when you reach the bottom of the well deck and you need to draw a card to replenish the board at the end of your turn. When that happens, any remaining normal challenges are discarded. You flip the boss to reveal which version of Vainglory you're fighting, and you bring out her unique protectors. So basically, if you reach the end, you beat this card and you will need to replace it. That's it. That triggers the end game. You will, put all the other challenges aside, and then you will pick these 4 cards. There are Vainglory's Protector. You will place them in the same space. I'm not gonna reveal Vainglory because I don't wanna do much spoiling. Sorry, I ran out of battery there. I think I was in the part that I was explaining that Vainglory is gonna be immune to any type of damage, so you will need to deal with these protectors first. For example, if you beat this one, it will make her vulnerable to green cards, so you will be able to use green cards to deal damage to Vainglory. Another one will make it vulnerable to blue cards, and the other one will make it vulnerable to red cards. So you will need to deal with the protector first in order to deal damage to Vainglory. And that's basically the core loop of the game and everything you get inside the box. Now let's go to my personal review. So for this review, I'm evaluating the game across 10 different categories based on my personal experience, opinion, and scoring each out of 10 before giving a final average. Okay, we're gonna start with the components. It's a 9 out of 10. The card quality and attention to detail here are absolutely amazing. The only reason it loses a point is the dice. The health tracker is just a generic D10, and the custom D6 lack a bit of color or shine to really make them pop on the table. Then we're gonna evaluate the visual theme IP, which is gonna be an 8 out of 10 for me. The art style is incredibly clean and well executed. Some designs don't completely appeal to my specific taste, but there is no denying that the visual here are top notch. Then point number 3 is gonna be setup and boxing. It's a 10 out of 10. This is easily one of the game's absolute best features. You can get this game out of the box and fully set it up on the table or completely box it away in literally about 1 minute. Point number 4 is gonna be storage, which for me is a 5 out of 10. If you don't sleeve your cards, the box works perfectly fine, but because this game requires a good amount of shuffling and I'm planning on replaying it a lot, sleeving was mandatory for me. So if you sleeve your cards, the original box becomes useless for storage, which is a bummer in my opinion. Point number 5 is going to be replayability. This is also going to be a 10 out of 10. I see myself replaying this constantly. The tactical puzzle, the push your locks elements, and the The variety in the decks keeps the core game loop feeling incredibly fresh in every single run. Moving on, point number 6, versatility or player modes. This gets a 7.5 out of 10. This score represents how flexible the game is with different player counts. It doesn't feature a PvP mode, but it functions beautifully as a solo or a cooperative experience for up to 2 players, which is amazing. Now, for the next 2 points, 7 and 8, I have inverted the scores so that the higher number always means a more positive trait for the player in order to keep the average outcome more fair. So, point number 7, rules complexity. It is a 7 out of 10, meaning the rulebook does a solid job of teaching you the basics. However, because card text can interact in weird ways, expect to look up a few timing and specific card interactions during your first few games. Point number 8, win difficulty. I'm giving this a 3 out of 10, meaning that this game is hard. I have lost significantly more times than I have won, and there are many runs where I didn't even survive long enough to see the boss. Out of about 15 playthroughs so far, I only managed to pull 3 victories. It is brutal, but it's a highly rewarding challenge. Enjoyment. It's an 8 out of 10 for me. I absolutely love playing this game. It can be very frustrating when things don't go your way, as you saw with the rolling example, the first one I did that would have failed. So it has that luck aspect that makes it frustrated, or when you draw cards that you don't really need or don't fit the strategy you're going for. But the tension makes every single victory feels completely earned, and the journey is worth it. And the last point is gonna be price worthiness. It's a 10 out of 10 for me. For what this game costs, the value is insane. It delivers a deep, highly replayable tactical experience and premium components all packed into a small box. When you average all 10 scores together, Kinfire Delve Vainglory's Grotto lands at a fantastic 7.85 out of 10, or 8 out of 10 if you round up. If you love tight hand management, high stakes die rolling, and challenging solo or cooperative puzzle, this belongs on your shelf. But just let me know, what do you guys think? Have you faced Vainglory yet, or are you planning to pick this up? Let me know down in the comments below. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and follow me for more tabletop review, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.